Okay, latest update on Chairman Wontumi. Abusuya eno any a project ede ato ye screen no enchen ede amamano. Judge orders the retention of Wontumi's passport and directs that his name be placed on the stop list. Abusuya sisi a Chairman Wontumi ne ho update ena yede abrem sisi a ne passport no court no wa order say yede nyede yen sisi a Chairman Wontumi entumi entukwan emfri Ghana ha say ene anase ochina. Enti no yede na to stop list so asisi a Chairman Wontumi ehye ne prosecution no ano ayedin ya enye asem keto akra onsem ena ye de bremo me enko na ye nkonkoti ensem bia ekọ so unsubscribe ya subscribe like na share ma afofron so ensa Wontumi enka bi aha Ghana Politics Avenue. So and don't forget to click on the notification bell so na be ya any update be drop bia no won so wonsa ebetumi akabi aha Ghana Politics Avenue. So political trending stories are making waves no ya ja to me say ye de bremo medamase.
Boesiako, known affectionately as Chairman Wontumi, has pleaded not guilty to charges of assignment of mineral rights without approval and purposely facilitating an unlicensed mining operation. Wontumi has been granted a bail of 15 million cedis with 3 sureties. 2 out of the 3 sureties are to be persons with landed property. He is to deposit his passport with the registrar of the court, and he is to be placed on a stop list at all entry points. The 3 sureties are to deposit copies of their Ghana card with the registrar of the court. Wontumi as well is to report to the investigators every first and third Monday of the month. The investigators who are yet to file evidence of the entries of the end of month appearance. Bernard Boesiako, together with 2 others, including his company, Akwinta Mining, have been arraigned before the Accra High Court over illegal mining-related offences. Now we'll connect with my colleague Lord Idwasare, who's in court for us shortly, but I want to run you through those 6 counts and the persons involved in this all-important case, one that has piqued a lot of interest. It was a subject matter of conversation when the CSOs met the president last week about prosecuting politically exposed persons in the country's fight against illegal mining. Here is what we know based on the sheets, the charge sheet, as we've seen, placed before the High Court today. And amongst many other things, the Republic versus Bernard Boesiako and 2 others. Who are the individuals involved? Bernard Boesiako himself, known affectionately as Chairman Wontumi. Then there is one Kwame Anti, who we understand is at large. He's the second accused person in this case. And then there is Akwinta Mining Company Limited, the company owned by Wontumi, also treated as a separate entity and an individual on its own who can be sued. And so these are the 3 individuals who have been accused. But let's get into the charges against Wontumi and the 2 others. And the first count is assignment of mineral rights without approval from the minister. This charge specifically going to Chairman Wontumi. Then the count 2, the same offense really, assignment of mineral rights without approval from the minister. This one for Kwame Nti, who is at large. Then we see the third count, assignment of mineral rights without approval, and that is corporate liability for unauthorized assignment. That as well slapped on Chairman Wontumi. Then purposely facilitating unlicensed mining contrary to the country's mining laws. That slapped on Chairman Wontumi as well. Then this one, same charge, purposely facilitating unlicensed mining contrary to mining laws. That charge slapped on Kwame Nti, who we understand is at large. And then the final count, the 6th count, corporate facilitation of unlicensed mining, and that is the Akwinta Mining Company Limited, owned by Bernard Boesiako, but being treated as a separate entity, and so it will be expected to answer for this charge in and by itself. But let's go over to the court right now, where my colleague Lord Idwasare has been stationed for us all throughout the morning. Remember, this hearing in this first matter started as early as 9 a.m. when we connected with him. We got the indication that Chairman Wontumi was already in court with his lawyers and was awaiting the arrival of the Attorney General. Let's get a bit more in terms of the details from him. Lord, thank you very much for joining us. And so a 15 million cedis bail, but his plea was taken as well. Walk us through proceedings as it played out today.
Right, Marina. So, like indicated, Chairman Wontumi Bernard in Tibuesha from the Ashanti Regional MPP chairperson, he pleaded not guilty to the two charges that you rightly outlined earlier. Now, the case is against himself, another person, Kwame Entry, and then the third being his company. Now, with Chairman Wontumi being a co-shareholder of the company, he represented himself as well as Akroma Mining. So, essentially, the charges were read for him, and then the Akroma Mining charges was also read to him, and then he pleaded not guilty to all of them. Now, his lead counsel, led by Andy Akuffo, he indicated that Bernard Wontumi is a very known person, respectable person, a family man with wives and children, and so it's not something that if he is granted bail, he would flee. He indicated that he's a man of substance. His sureties are on standby. They are people who are also people of substance and will be able to post the bail when he is given. He indicated that there was an incident where the Attorney General indicated that he had to compel him to report to the CID on Monday. But the situation was that it was he, the lawyer, who was on his way when he got the call on Friday to be invited to the CID. And so he prayed to rather report on Tuesday. And so it cannot be said that it was his client, Chairman Wontumi, who was delaying and refused to report to the CID. Now, the prosecution led by the Deputy Attorney General, Dr. Justice Ramsay, he did not oppose to that bail application by lawyers for Chairman Wontumi. However, he indicated that due to the nature of the case, has to do with Galamsey, that issue as of now is the biggest threat to the country's democracy, security, and so it shouldn't be taken lightly. He indicated that the terms of the bill should be such that Chairman Wontumi will not, as it were, abscond or leave the jurisdiction. He prayed for very tough bail conditions. For example, he indicated that once convicted or if convicted, Chairman Wontumi stands there's a propensity for him to go away for at least 15 years if he's convicted of the charges leveled against him. He indicated that by virtue of the fact that he's a man of substance, if the money is not something which is weighty enough, he could get around it and then leave the jurisdiction. And so he was essentially playing for tight terms of the bill.
Right.
After hearing the arguments from the both counsels, the presiding judge in the matter, Audrey Kokuvi, indicated that she was going to grant the bill since there hasn't been any opposition, and then outlined the terms. For example, so it was a 15 million bill with three conditions, three sureties. Two of those sureties are supposed to present landed properties, and then Wontumi himself is supposed to submit his passport, and then his name has been posted on the stop list on all the entry points in the country, so he does not leave the jurisdiction. Additionally, he's supposed to report to the investigator twice a month, which is every first Monday and then Wednesday of the month. Now, for the investigators, they are supposed to, as it were, file documents or evidence of entry to indicate that Chairman Wontumi indeed has reported to the investigators so that things to go on smoothly from then onward. So as we speak right now, his lawyers and then the people who are putting the bill or the sureties are still upstairs trying to work out the documentation. And so they haven't descended yet. This place is very crowded, full, and so we are waiting for that. The Attorney General, I spoke to him earlier. He indicated that, Marina, you recall that in the morning we were talking about the fact that there are two cases against Chairman Wontumi. There's a second case which will be heard later in the day. The Deputy Attorney General confirmed, but when I prodded further for him to give me details of that case, he decided not to speak on it. So we'll be here to monitor especially what the second case is on, and then we'll revert to this.
Right. It's important to mention that there's another case, but we don't know details of that other case just as yet. But as we speak now, Chairman Wontumi and his lawyers are upstairs trying to settle this 15 million cedis bail conditions and all of that. But now talk to us about the security presence at the law court complex and what the area is looking like, considering who is in court today and all of the interest in this matter.
Well, today was certainly the first working day, if I should say, as far as the courts are concerned, because the legal break is over, and so it got resumed today. Now, CID operatives were two here. They were posted at all the entry points, 4 of the entry points here at the Accra High Court. The CID operatives who had their vests on, others were I could count as much as 6 pickup trucks, and then there's a bus, there's a FPU truck, and so they are littered all over the premises. Some are stationed outside the premises, and then some within the premises. And so for the number of officials, I can't really count because there are actually numerous, one of them due to the nature of the case and the person who is it. Now, you recall that when Chairman Wontumi was at the police headquarters yesterday, there were some enthusiasts or party supporters who nearly created some form of trouble. And so I believe that CID operators or the police essentially wanted to make sure that there won't be a repeat of that. And so even right in the morning, they're not allowing people to come inside the premises. Only designated people or workers or people who are of interest in the case could enter the premises. And so they did all this, cordon the place off to make sure that security is tight and then there's no trouble whatsoever.
Lord, thank you very much, and we'll continue to monitor the developments there on that second case involving Chairman Wontumi and bring you details of. Also, the second accused is Entry, Kwame Entry. Might have been a slight omission of the W there as well. But we can bring you a lot more stories in relation to the Galamsey conversation.
Indeed. Now, 12 individuals are expected to appear before the Takwa Circuit Court for causing damage to a section of the Takwa railway line at Achim in the Takwa Insui municipality. Now, this came to light when the Western Regional Minister, Joseph Nelson, led the Regional Security Council to the location of the distraction.
A railway line critical for Ghana's manganese exports is facing severe threats from illegal miners. The narrow gauge line owned by the Ghana Manganese Company Limited for hauling products to the Takwa depot has been significantly damaged and encroached upon by illegal activities. In response to a viral video documenting the extensive damage near Achim, a high-level team made up of the Western Regional Minister, Joseph Nelson, MP for Takwa Nswayim, Issa Salif Futela, and the National Security Liaison Officer conducted an on-site inspection on Monday to evaluate the situation. Illegal miners had dug out the entire foundation beneath the railway bridge, stripping away all the soil and leaving the metal rails precariously suspended in mid-air.
I think that for the police, you have to really make your monitoring devices even more sensitive. This didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen within 2 weeks. Certainly, it didn't happen within just 1 month. It's been going on for a while. And so I think that your system for scanning the whole environment must be sharper so that we're able to avoid such damage.
Further ahead, entire sections of the rail line had been removed, with the embankment collapsing into the water. The regional minister, very disturbed, called on traditional leaders to take control of their communities and urged the Ghana Railways Authority to increase patrols to prevent further distraction.
And in fact, I want to believe that those who do these things live in this town. They live here. They've rented houses here. They live here. That is where they get up every morning and come. They are in the communities. And so to think that this has been going on for weeks, and we couldn't get any public-spirited person, no leader here to show up to say that, look, this thing must stop. If any leader from this community had come here to really show concern, had come here to show leadership, I believe that this matter, would have ended as soon as the people showed up.
However, residents blame the situation on certain individuals within the Ghana Railways Authority. They claim that 2 officers from the authority had told them the new standard gauge line under construction would not pass through the Achim community.
Just 6,000 cedis. Because boys in way Jumano, Obianya baby, one who come the one. No, I'm a boy, see what to Tradina because I will be catcher. I do my work as some was in Nanum. I will run with near your quantity, make a quan of a tribute. It's in Nanum woman, then view.
To tackle the current crisis, the youth and community members are taking action to reclaim the legal mining sites in Achim.
You could try near Bayaso, a jazia, a youth near Ukumiha, Yenny, Achim youth. Ubio work Achim Kumbia, or ye young boy to them, Ubiala Jinuhudi. Ubiala Jinuhudi, Tiyan Yenim Jumawi, Yebitimaya.
For the effective supervision, the Assistant Superintendent of Tracks at the Ghana Railways, Samson Nyame, disclosed that it has become very difficult for them to go on monitoring and supervision of the rail lines as the only rail car for monitoring has broken down.
We have to get mobility. We use railway Edison rail car, and the rail car is now spoiled. It's now at Takwa. So we don't have any ways and means to come to lie, even apart from Takwa to this thing, Benso. We don't have any means to travel more than 4 miles.
In the meantime, the operational commander of the Western Central Police Command, ASP Edem Selassie, who briefed the Western Regional Minister, says 12 individuals were arrested in connection with the damage of the rail line at Achim and will be appearing before Takwa Circuit Court on Tuesday, October 7.
That is to say that we actually heard information about the people working very close to the railway track, and when we came, we managed to arrest 12 people, and as I speak to you now, they are facing court action. And in fact, we realized that the police was in a very deplorable state. And
Akroma Smith, TV3 News, Takwa.
It's still News Central here on TV3. I'm Kamini Amano. A bit more on the subject. I'm joined by Coordinator of Eco-Conscious Citizens, Awula Sewa. Awula, I appreciate your time this afternoon. Let's start off with the arraignment of Chairman Wontumi today. Obviously, he has, pled not guilty to all the charges against him. But how does that move come to you?
Well, it's something that's been long coming. You recall that a few years ago, our brother Kenashipi, Martin Sehu, and others made a report to the police about the ongoing destruction of the Kano Forest Reserve. And nothing much came out of this. But I don't know what happened to the file. They took a step in the right direction. And the hope is that not only him, but all those named in Professor Boateng's report, all those who have been named as being involved or in illegal mining will be arrested and prosecuted. And then we'll also have the police case principle, which means that if they are found guilty, then their assets will be sold and used towards the very expensive cost of reclamation. So that one realizes that there is no profit in illegal mining. If you are arrested and prosecuted and convicted, then your ill-gotten wealth will be used towards the cost of reclamation. It shouldn't be for the taxpayer to pay.
And indeed, I hear you talk about sustenance, in your submission right now. What else would you like to see to sustain this effort?
Well, we have to, one of the things we've asked for, what the Ghana Coalition Against Illegal Mining have asked for, is that in every locality where there's illegal mining going on, there should be key performance indicators. What are the MCEs and DCs doing? What is the police command doing? Is it that they don't have resources? So if there's illegal mining going on, they should be held accountable so they can explain why it's going on and there's nothing they can do about it. Because as I keep on saying, like a sports record, we're on the verge of an ecological disaster. We face an existential threat. And if we don't quickly deal with this problem, we'll all be consumed.
I see, Aula. Thank you so much. We'll leave it here for now. Aula Sewa is coordinator of Eco-Conscious Citizens. She's an anti-galamsey advocate talking to us about her opinion regarding the recent development to do with Chairman Wontumi, who's pled not guilty to charges of illegal mining against him.
Now, the Ghana Gold Board Task Force has arrested an American citizen, Smart Philander, a Moroccan national, Nina Elsefsky, and 4 Ghanaian accomplices.
Okay, abusia we ne ensema ekoso ewo political highway so chairman Wontumi and Isiano a high court judges are order say yen seize a passport no ene say yen fanento a passport list. I want some any the brand but am some je penny kokoti sa ensem we e de ban aha e Ghana political trending stories are e will be ano yen so ye de brand but am say